Hello everyone, Steven here and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to cover how to build a case management system with PowerApp. So the first question that we need to ask ourselves is, what is the purpose of this particular tutorial? So we are going to go through the entire process of creating an efficient system that will allow us to manage and track cases effortlessly. And you might ask yourself, who is this for? So this particular system will be ideal for businesses, project managers, and anyone who's looking into streamlining case management within the organization. And the main key features that we're going to have in this system are the user authentication, which is the secure login and management, the case management itself, which will allow users to be able to create, update, track cases efficiently, and the role-based access, with everyone using the application will have different role access, allowing them to perform different tasks to the data and everything else that is in the system. And lastly, we are going to also configure notifications, which will allow everyone using the application to stay updated with emails and in-app alerts. So before we dive into building the actual system itself, I just wanted us to quickly go through the tables that we're going to create. So we're going to use Database for our storage. And in Database, out of the box, we already have got the users table, where everyone who's a user of an application, they'll be added into that users table automatically. And we're going to create a custom table, which is the case categories. And the one category can actually contain many cases. And each and every case, we can also keep activities. So for example, for that particular case, I sent an email, I sent an SMS, I did everything, ABCD, I followed up with the client, I called the client. All those activities will be stored in the activities table. So meaning to say one case can actually have many case activities. Same applies to the comments, attachments, and the reports as well. So the relationships is from these two tables to this table is a one-to-many. And for everything else that is coming on in front of the cases, these are the child entities. That's why we'll have the case ID, which will act as a lookup from the cases table. So without further ado, let's actually dive into building this solution. Now let's go ahead and create all of our tables. So in our solution, I'll go to new, click on new, table, advanced properties, give it a name. The first table we're going to create is the case category table. And we're also going to allow the quick create, and the primary column should be the category name. Save that. Now that our table has been saved, let's go to column and add the other description for the case category description. So click on column, and on our columns, click on new column at the top and give it a title of description. And this one should be text, but should be multi-line text. Save that. Now that our category table has been created, let's go ahead and create the cases table. So on tables, new table with advanced properties, and this one should be the case. All right, and the column, the primary column of this one should be the case title. And save and close. Now, on our cases table, let's go to columns so that we add all the columns on the list. So apart from the case title, we also have the case description. This one should be multi-line text. And another column that we need to add is the date at which it was created. So as you can see here, Database already gives us that. So you can just rename it if you want to change it, but created on should be okay. But there's another column that we need to add, which is the assigned to. So the assigned to will be related to our users table, and the users table, you don't have to create it because database already comes with the users table. So all you have to do is click on new column, and you give it a name of assigned to. And this one, the data type is a lookup, and it's looking up from the users table, right? So by doing that, we've added an association between between the cases table and the users table. The other lookup column that we need to add is the category itself, so that we're able to identify, to filter out all the cases that are related to a certain category. And as you can see here, the moment we've added the lookup column that is looking up from the users table, that table already is added automatically into our solution here, so that when we're deploying the app, all the assets are available in they're in one place, right? So we also have got the case category, and the case category as well should be a lookup, and we are looking up from the cases table, case category table. Okay, save that. Right, we also need to add the status, the case status, and the status should be a choice column, and this choice, I'll add it as a new choice. I'll give it a name of case status, and the choices in here should be either, if it's open, it can either be in progress. The status can also be if either it has been resolved and it has been closed. Okay, you can add as many choices as you have depending on your scenario, but for this particular tutorial, we're just going to use that. And when you save, it's not automatically added here, so you just have to search it again. So I gave mine a name of case status, so just search for case status. And here, it'll also show you, do you want to add a default choice? So I want to default mine to open because any item that has been created, it will be in an open state. Save that. The last column that we need to add is the priority. So the priority can either be, it can either be low priority, medium priority, or high priority. So here, I'll just give it a name of priority. And if I'm not mistaken, part of the database choices, there should be priority, because low, medium, and high is something that is actually utilized across many items. Yeah, so as you can see here, we already have priority, so you can just search for it. You don't have to create it all over again. So the choices that you're seeing here are part of what we call global choices. But if you just want to use something that is local for this table alone, you can just click on no, and then you define the choices in there as well. Save this. So now that we've created the case category, and then we've created the cases, we're just going to quickly go through how to set up the views. So I'll go to views, and then I'll edit the active cases view. Here, I want to be able to see my case title, but I'll just, decrease the width to 150 pixels. And then I also want to see whom this is assigned to. I also want to see the description. I also want to see the date at which it was created on. So the category itself, I think that one should also be there. Created on is already here. And the case status and the priority as well. But as you can see here, we misspelled description. You can actually edit the column from the view here as well. So you just click on it, the drop down, click on edit table column, and here just give it a proper name, description. Yeah, that should suffice. Now, the only last remaining thing to add on our cases table is the actual form, the form that will be used to enter information, and the form that will also be used to, edit information, view information, and so on and so forth. So on our form, I'm going to add the different information, now the different custom columns here. If you want to see everything, including the system columns, you can just click on this drop down here and then click on all. If you want to see standard columns, you can also do that. So these are the system created columns. But for my scenario, I just want to see items that we've created. So we have the case title, description. When I've added the description, because it's a multi-line text, I want it to expand depending on the amount of text that has been added in there. I don't want people to be scrolling through if maybe someone has added more information here. So as you can see, it's defaulted to one row. But what I like to do is to just click on here so that I'm able to use the available vertical space. So depending on the information that you've added, if it's 12 paragraphs, it'll also open this up, stretch it out to accommodate those 12 paragraphs. And we also need to see the category. We also need to see who it is assigned to, its priority, and its status as well. The owner, we don't need to have the owner field on our form. We can just drag it to the very top. Right? So that is done. The last thing that we will do in between these two tables, the cases and the case categories table, is to show you how you can view a category. So each and every category, we've added this relationship with the cases table, meaning to say there's a one-to-many relationship between these two tables. But now I want to be able, as a user, I want to be able to go and open a category table, and then see all the cases that are related, that are under that particular category. So in order for you to do that, you need to make sure that there's a relationship, a one-to-many relationship between those two tables. Now I'll go to forms in our cases category table. On our forms, I'll edit the main form. On here, I don't want to see all these other columns. I just want to see custom columns. So as for our table, we had the category name, and we also add in the description in there. As I've already explained in the other table, I'll allow vertical space. For the owner, this one we can just hide it. We don't need it. So now we are able to see the information that is pertaining to the category, the case category. So underneath this case category details, I just give this a name of category details. Okay, and make sure that I show this label. Underneath that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a component. And this component, I'll give it a name of associated cases. Right, and under associated cases, I'll select this, click on subgrid, and ensure that you're only showing selected related records, which in this case is our cases. And if you're not seeing that on the list, you can just click on the drop down, then you can select it from here. Click on done, and then name this subgrid associated cases, and I'll just hide the label of that for now. So as you can see now, whenever someone in the model-driven app opens the category, they'll be able to see the category description, and all the cases that are associated with that particular category. So I'll quickly create all the other remaining tables, and then we'll go ahead and show you how to build the model-driven app and add flows that will handle the communication and so on and so forth. Now that all of our tables have been created, let's go ahead and create the model-driven app. So at the top, click on App, Model-driven app. Give it a name. Now let's go ahead and add all of our database tables. And let's just rename our group to something case management. Right. So before we move on to testing the application itself, what I wanted us to also go through is creating of an automation, a Power Automate flow. And this Power Automate flow will trigger every time that a case has been assigned to someone. So when a new case has been added to the application, what I want us to do is to be able to notify the person who that case has been assigned to notify them to say this has been assigned to you. So before we proceed to test the application, because now the model-driven application is done, but before we do that, we just have to divert to Power Automate and then we'll go back to the model-driven app. So let's go ahead and create that Power Automate flow. To create a Power Automate flow that notifies assignees in our solution, I'll just click on New and go to Automation. This one will be a cloud flow and it will be automated. Give it a name. And the trigger would be when a row is added or modified in dataset. Click Create. So the change type should be when a row has been added or modified, because there's some other instances where you can assign it to someone else, and then you also have modified it to some other user. So when those two changes occur, which is added or modified, in our tables called cases, and the scope should be through across the whole organization. So for here, when this is done, when this is true, what I want us to do is, first of all, get the details of the person who that issue has been assigned to. Remember, the column that we had for assigned to is a lookup column, which means that we want to get information from another table. How we do that is on the action, we select database and we'll select the get a row by ID. Which ID? The ID that we are retrieving from the cases table. For here, the table name is we're selecting from the users table. The row ID should be the value of assigned to. So assigned to value, that's the ID, because the value is just the unique GUI for the user themselves. When that is done, what should happen next? What should happen next is we need to send an email. Send an email via our Office 365 Outlook. This email should be sent to @dynamic from the primary email from the user. You can rename these, by the way, and new case assignment. All right, dear, we need to have the name of the user. So in this scenario, I'll just say full name. So dear full name from the user, action, a new case titled, I think we had titled. Yes, we had case title, has been assigned to you. Please take notes. You can add whatever details or other information that you want to add on to here, but for my scenario, for the demonstration purposes, I think that should suffice. Regards, case management system. And I just want to also keep in copy my personal email so that you also appreciate that it goes through to other channels. All right, so here, that is it. That is done. So now just save and let's go ahead and test the application. Right, so after publishing our application and you've played it, this is the view that you'll be greeted with. So on the left hand side here, we have got all of our cases, activities, attachments, categories, comments, etc. And I've gone ahead and added some dummy categories for the demonstration purposes. So we've got the billing, payments, customer support, HR infrastructure, technical support, so on and so forth. So if you go to cases, I'll click on new case and I'll just give it a name of okay, printer not working, and the category for this is IT and infrastructure. This I'll assign it to Steve, and the priority for this one is urgent, and the status is already defaulted to open. I'll save this. So now when this has been saved, remember we had added a Power Automate flow. The Power Automate flow, what it does is it is notifying the individual who has received that particular email. So in our case, if I'm to go to my Outlook, and because if I go to send items, right here, you see that a new item has been assigned. So the new assignment is, the subject is just case assignment. And as you can see here, dear Steven, a new printer is not working, has been assigned to you. And we also copied that particular email for my personal email, if just to keep track of all the issues that have been added. So this, what we have here is, all this is happening because of the Power Automate flow that we were creating together. So in terms of the activities that have been done, if we want to add any activity on the left hand side here, you can just click on the dot and you can say new case activity, and you can specify the activity to say we had a meeting on this, or the task, technician, um, okay, the technician was also Steve, and this was done today. Okay, save and closed. You can also specify the time. So all the activities that are pertaining to this particular task here, you can add them here. So it doesn't matter if it's just one, it's just if there are many activities. For example, first of all, before going to the client, we called them, for example. So you can also add that as an activity to say, before going there, we had a phone call, call the client, and it is Steven who actually called the client. Okay, and you can also specify it at the exact time. So you see that for calling the clients and any other tasks pertaining to whatever, you can add them here. So everyone else that is to open the application, they can see that, okay, the printer wasn't working, but these were the activities that were undertaken in order for this to be completed. Apart from that, you also have got comments where same rules apply. The comments, how we can add the comments is simple, or the comments will also come in here. So the reason why these quick create forms are coming here is because we had turned them on each and every item. On attachments, because in order for us to attach a file, we need to first of all ensure that the attachment record is created. So therefore, we did not use a quick create form here. So if I'm to say this is a new case attachment, it will take me to another window, because what we need to do is to specify, to say, let's say a quotation for printer 6. Okay, and the file type, maybe this is a PDF. You see that here currently there's nothing that, we cannot add anything on here. So the only way we can actually do that is to save this record and go ahead and choose a file. Okay, so after you've chosen a file on your PC, you can also specify here to say, oh, this one is a JPG, right? And the file types is, you're not just limited to these ones. You can also add the file types that are also working for your scenario. But for this demonstration purposes, that's what I've added. So that's the reason why we couldn't add this as a quick create, because first of all, you need to create the record. Therefore, you can now, the upload is now activated when you've now saved to the particular record. But everything, all the attachments that you've added, they'll still be on the left hand side here. All right, you see that here, all our attachments, you see that the quotation for fixing the printer, the images is there. You can also attach any other attachments and they'll be on that list as well. On the reports, same rules apply. Now, because the report, we don't have to attach anything. You can also just utilize a quick create form by just clicking on quick create, and you can have the report title, and at the same time you can also add the details pertaining to the report. So basically, that's the quickest way we can actually come up with a case management system to ensure that everything that we have on, to ensure that all the cases that we've added, we're able to keep track of all the actions that have been done against those particular records. And we're also ensuring that we're able to keep track of the attachments, all the categories, all the comments, and everything else, actions it took for us to work on that particular issue. All of that has been done, and it's under one application, simple application in a model-driven Power App. So that's basically the power of Power Apps, where we can come up with solutions that will cater to so many topics and so many department sections of our organization, and quickly, and as quickly as possible. So thank you for watching today's tutorial, and as always, if you have got any questions, comments, or you want to suggest a certain topic that you can appreciate from, or you can learn a lot from, please do feel free to comment in the comment section below. Thank you so much for viewing the tutorial. I wish you a good day.